Okay, we're going.
Not go dead, Joe.
We'll start.
Take your hand, Robert. Okay.
Ready, go.
All right, you can have my gun when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. Okay, good morning. My name is Joe Avila, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about why I feel there's a need to lessen the restrictive gun control in the United States. Okay, the statement you just heard was first made famous by Charlton Heston, all right, in the 90s when he was running for the presidency of the NRA. All right, no statement better sums up the fact that there's a war in this country over gun control. Okay, a very big debate, and there seems to be no black and white. Any gun supporters would like you to believe that if guns are illegal, bad people won't have them. Okay, but that's not the case. And nothing says that more than the state of Florida. Okay, in the state of Florida, there's 729,000 people with a concealed carry permit. In the last 29 months, only 167 people have had those revoked, okay, due to violent crime. All right, that's 0.0001% of the people who are allowed to carry that actually get in trouble. Okay. Today I hope to change your thinking about gun control, and I want to do that through showing you that I believe there is a need to carry, admitting that there are flaws with the system, and talking about how we can fix that system. Okay. I've been a gun owner for almost 18 years. I own about 33 of them. I keep guns in every room of my house. All right. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment to keep and bear arms. Okay. I'm trained in long range shooting and ballistics, CQB, close quarter combat. And pretty much anything that has to do with a gun. So I definitely understand things of great power and great destruction you need to be educated on it, and you need to actually respect that power. Okay. Now that I've made it pretty clear that I'm an avid supporter of concealed carry, and I'm trained with weapons. All right. I want to talk to you about why it's important. Due to time constraints, I'm going to zip through a couple examples real quick. All right. We're going to start with the Virginia Tech Massacre. Okay. According to the VirginiaTechMassacre.com, a website that's been dedicated to the people who have lost their lives there, okay, 32 people were killed that day, 17 were injured over the course of 2 hours and 15 minutes and a half a mile. The first two people who were killed in a building that housed 900 people. If any one of those individuals had been armed, 47 other people's lives might have been changed today. Okay, he walked a half mile to another building before starting a 45-minute rampage, killing another 30 people and wounding 17. All the people he shot were running from him or cowering from him. If any one of those individuals would have been armed and engaged the target, the outcome of that day would have been a lot different. Okay, another good example is the DC gun ban that was enacted in 1974. Okay, according to FBI studies, in the first 18 months of that ban, violent crime rose 35%, and by the mid-90s, that number tripled. Okay, and one interesting thing is, since the late 90s, the FBI has been tracking how many guns have been confiscated out of DC, and they confiscate almost 300 illegal guns a year, not by law-abiding citizens, by criminals. Okay. In 2008, that ban was lifted by the Supreme Court, and in an article written by William Succi from the Washington Post, he did some research on the numbers, and in 45 years, the first 18 months of the ban lift was the biggest drop in violent crime in DC history in 45 years. Okay, one more study done by John Lott, a professor at the University of Chicago. He looked at 31 states that have concealed carry permits against the 19 that don't. Okay, here are some staggering statistics. Out of those 31 states that almost doubled the 19, there was 1,500 less murders, 4,200 less rapes, 60,000 less aggravated assaults, and 12,000 less robberies. Okay, what he tried to prove was that criminals do respond to an armed deterrence. Okay. Now that I've kind of showed you why I believe there's definitely a need to carry, let me say that to play devil's advocate, I understand the system's not perfect. One of the biggest problems with the system is the lack of a standard and the lack of requirements to acquire these weapons. Okay, if you compare Maryland to Florida, Maryland, there's a 7-day waiting period to own a handgun. And unless you have 3 documented attempts on your life and you carry more than $2,500 on your persons at any given time 5 days a week, you're not getting a concealed carry permit. Yet Florida, you can walk in, put cash on the counter, walk out with a gun after a 15-minute check. And if you want to carry, well, all you have to do is watch a 22-minute video. Okay, therein lies the problem. There's no set standard. Everyone is not trained to the same standard. Okay, it's our right to carry weapons, but not everyone at any time. Okay, you need to be trained. Hell, in the United States, you need to be trained and go through a probationary period just to have a driver's license. Why shouldn't you have that to have something that could potentially kill somebody? Okay, so now that I've admitted that there happens to be a flaw with the system, let me talk about what I think should be done about it. All right, education. Education starts with the gun owner from a very young age. All right. I myself, with all my guns in my house, my kids, since they're 5 years old, okay, they can take my guns apart, they can put my guns together. They understand how the guns cycle. I use training rounds to show them how to load guns, how to unload guns, and how to cycle guns and through their action. Okay, it's not a mystery to them. All right, that's one reason that makes it safer. They understand the difference between a real gun and a fake gun. They understand the difference the destruction of a real gun actually has. All right, that's something that it's responsible for the gun owners. When someone becomes old enough to actually acquire a license and acquire the ability to own their own weapon, it then falls on the FFLs. The FFL should come up with some sort of standardized federal training program, because ultimately they're the ones who are giving you this weapon, so they should ensure that it's going in the hands of the right people. Okay, the background checks need to be more extensive. If I don't check mentally ill on that piece of paper, the person giving me the gun, they don't know that I'm mentally ill. They should open up that scope of criminal background checks to mental illness, to medical history, all right? Because that right there is a precursor for something that might happen, something bad that might happen, okay? So like I said, make those responsible for putting the guns out in the public. Make them responsible for ensuring they're giving them to the right people. Okay, so today I talked a little bit about the fact that I believe we need to lessen restrictive gun control laws, and I told you that there is evidence out there that shows that gun control, concealed carry, whether you have it concealed or you have it out in the open, okay, there is an armed deterrent against criminals who are looking at people who are potentially armed. Okay, I admitted that there's problems with the way the laws are, and I looked at how we can potentially fix those laws to make it safe for everybody to carry. Okay, and in closing, I just wanted to say, you know, I'm not telling you guys to go out and get a gun today. I'm not telling you to strap it on your hip tomorrow. Okay, what I'm asking you to do is keep an open mind and not restrict me to your beliefs. Okay, because in the end, it actually could wind up saving your lives one day. Okay, thank you. Class is dismissed.